Hello guys, it's Andrew Rowe here from Bubba Ramen. Today I just wanted to show you guys how it's like to live in like a traditional Japanese home. So this is my family home here. So today is not necessarily about the ramen side of things, unfortunately. It's more about the Bubba in the Bubba Ramen, which is my family name, which is on the plaque outside as well. So yeah, today I just wanted to walk you through, show what it's like to kind of live in a Japanese home. So yeah, come join me. Okay, so this is my family name, so it's Bubba. This is our family kind of plaque, so that's what it's written, it's in kanji. So this is coming into the rest of the house. This tree, my granddad really loves this tree. It's actually taken years of work to try and get it as far as we can over here. One characteristic, by the way, with Japanese houses is the kind of roofs and the tiles. So they have really like deep kind of eaves as such, and that's for, it just keeps it cooler inside, like because the summers are crazy hot in Japan. So that top part there, that's called an omine. And when you're building a Japanese house, omine is the thing that you put on at the last part of building a house. So after you put the omine on, then you have like a celebration which is called the muneage. And that's just essentially having a ceremony to celebrate that you've finished your house, to be fair. Very big characteristic. So walking through, this is the rest of the kind of garden area. It takes a lot of upkeep for these kind of bushes, keeping them around and things like that. This area used to be grass, which is quite rare in Japan, but we had a mole and it kind of ruined it all. So it looks like grass, but it's actually weeds, unfortunately, to be fair. Yeah, we'll just go into the rest of the house. Oh! There's a random strong. Just seeing it here in the house. Oh, how lucky. Alright, let's do the rest of the tour. Okay, so this is the entrance. This is what is called a genkan. So this is what you'd find as entrance to any Japanese home. It's considered to be very dirty here, by the way. So always take your shoes off there. It's considered to be basically outside still with that area. So don't ever kind of, if you come into a Japanese household with your shoes on, you'll just never be invited again. To be fair. So this is the living room. Normally you won't see seats in a Japanese living room. They tend to sit on the floor, typically so. You wouldn't normally see a sofa here as well, but obviously because half their kids are English, they're catering to us. So what they do in Japan, you have your zabudon. So this is what you have instead of seats. So then you sit down, and then you sit down. This is called seiza as well. So this is how you'd sit typically. I mean, normally you wouldn't have to do this because it's quite painful to kind of sit like this. To be fair. So yeah, this is like a normal kind of living room. A little bit more catered to English people, I think, to a certain degree. I mean, this is called a zaisu as well, but this is for old people because they can't bend their knees as much. So it's a kind of like a seat, but a very, very small seat, to be fair. This is the kitchen area. So yeah, kitchens. First of all, these sinks, they're very, very big in comparison to the UK. To be fair. Going around, this is the burner. So they don't have ovens. So what they'll have is this kind of grill part instead. This is actually for fish in particular. And that's what they'll have there. This is just the fridge here. This is a normal fridge. They always separate into three in Japan. This is your normal part. It's empty because no one lives here. This is where the ice part is. So this is the freezer part. And this is for vegetables typically, or ice cream. Over here you have your rice cooker, which if you're going to make rice, you have to have a rice cooker. It's just number one. This is a kettle. It's a Japanese kettle, so it's not like you press it on and then it heats up. This actually stays at a constant high temperature. So when you want it, you press that, and then you have hot water that kind of comes out straight away. As mentioned as well, Japan, they don't have ovens. So you have this kind of grill kind of thing. So the heat only comes from the top. But yeah, it's just a griller. And it's just, it will work the same as a toaster as well, to be fair. So yeah, that's a brief one about the kitchen side of things. We'll head into the rest of the house, into the bathroom area. So yeah, sink area, washing machine. Washing machines in Japan, they only use cold water. It's something that's really strange. Something that's, yeah, they should change in the future. This is the bathroom. So very big, deep bathroom. Typically as well, by the way, in every single Japanese household, you'd have these kind of electronic ones. So I'll just turn it on here just to give you an example. So each of these buttons will do a different thing. So this will start the bath. So that will start the bath. And it will start the bath. And it will fill the bath up to a certain point and then it will stop by itself automatically. In Japan, you shower. You shower before you go into the bath. So clean yourself, make sure you're all clean, and then you go into the bath. So the bath water actually stays there for a long time. Sometimes it'll be like maybe 2 or 3 kind of uses as such. And then you can press this button here, oidashi, and then that heats up the water that's actually in the bath. So it's very, very different the way they clean themselves. Better actually, I think. It's a great way to kind of clean yourself. Sincerely, just for visitors. Yeah, it's where we would cater to people. That area there is for, no one sleeps here. It's quite an empty room unless we have visitors. It's solely for them, to be fair. So, this is a ranma. So, it's a very Japanese characteristic where it's slightly translucent. So, and it allows a little bit of light to come through the rooms, kind of thing. This is a shoji. Once again, it's these kind of doors. They're made of paper. Sorry, I've used the wrong side. They're very delicate, as you can see, and very easy to kind of rip. As a kid, we broke these so many times. My grandparents made me pay for it every single time. But they're not around anymore, so I'm not going to pay for that one, to be fair. So, this area here is a bit of a kind of dead area as such, but it's called an engawa. So engawa is something like this out kind of corridor that protects the house from the outside elements. So this area here is calmer and protects it from all the things outside, basically. So it's something that's usually you can walk through, and it's very unique in all Japanese houses. It's really nice, actually. I really like the engawa side of things. Another unique thing that you'd have in a Japanese house is a butsuden. So this is like, our religion is Shinryoin, which is a type of Buddhism that was coined only like 100 years ago or so. And whenever you like lose your relatives and things, you'll see a butsuden in most places. So it's really nice actually in Japan because you remember your relatives, and you not necessarily remember, you think about them quite a lot. So you light onsenko, you know, and so when I come back home, for example, I'd say I'm home. And I'll come back here because you say tadaima, which means I'm home. And then I'll light this osenko for Ji-chan, my granddad's. And then I'll think of my granddad at the time. So it's just a nice thing. Not even a religious form, but it's nice because you do remember the dead. You do constantly think about them. So just going into another kind of guest area. So this one is a fusuma. It's just a sliding door of which you would see in any Japanese households. To be fair, like you can see it over there as well, like you have it in the normal kind of wardrobe areas and things like that as well. So just coming into here, this is a tokonoma. So this is quite a special area that's kind of reserved for just guests. It's a kind of showpiece area to a certain degree, and you always have like an elevated area like this, and then you'd show things like the paintings, or you'd have a shodo, which is like the kind of scripture that they'd write. So you'd have maybe something in like kanji or something like that, to be fair. It's very rude to like tread or stand onto this area. So when you see it, it's just a presentation area, basically. So do not, touch anything or anything. Just look at it and appreciate what's on the tokonoma, to be fair. All right, so we'll go upstairs now. Okay, coming up to the second floor. Second floor in one part of the house anyway. So coming into here, it is an empty room. There isn't any furniture. This is actually a bedroom. This is where my grandparents used to sleep. They're very minimalistic in that respect. And what you do, you have this is the bedding basically. This is the futons and stuff like that you'd use. So this is like the mattress kind of thing, and then you've got your pillows. So you've got pillows, you've got sheets, you've got your blankets. So you have several layers. But each day, each evening, they would take it out. That's the kind of way that they sleep. But yeah, typically you don't see the furniture in these kind of rooms. So this is one of the bedrooms. We'll come through to here. This area here is just it's just a spare room in a way. This used to be an office, but yeah, it's just not used anymore. So it's just a spare room, and obviously you've got the balcony bit up there. So it's quite a lot of space. It's quite a lot of space in this entire floor, to be fair. All right, we're going to the next part. Okay, so we're just gonna go through the rest of the house now. This is just coming through the kitchen way, and then we'll be in the second part of the house. So this is another outdoor area, or considered as outdoor area. So you'd have to put slippers on again, coming through here. This is just like a middle part of the house, nothing kind of special as such. You know, this is just farming gear, motorbike, just a bicycle, and you got like other farming gear and stuff in the background. But this is the cool part over here. So my gran, well, Bambachan, she used to be a hairdresser. She had her own salon. When she got older, she closed that salon down, and then she made a salon at home, which is what this is here. So this salon's been here for a good, I'd say 20 maybe odd years, ever since I was born actually, so maybe more than that. Very old school. Yeah, she did it so that there's actually a toilet in there, and she did it so that she could cut the hair for like the neighbours and stuff like that. And this is a very old school hairdryer. You've probably seen it in those kind of American movies from back in the day. I believe it still works, to be fair. Okay, I'll try it out quickly, see if it works. On it. Okay, untuck that. Okay, alright, still works. So this is a hairdryer. What they used to use in the old days. Very, very retro. It doesn't, smell good. Oh, it didn't actually do anything to my hair. None will come on like that. Okay, well, we'll move on to the rest of the house. So, we're just coming into the second part of the house, the second floor again. I'll show you these bits in a second, but we'll go into here first. So, this is just like the kind of toilet area. So, I'll let Emil come in. And then this is the toilet upstairs. So this is like the famous Japanese toilet, I guess, just because it's controlled with electronics and things like that. So with these buttons, each button has its own purpose. So for this says oshiri, so that's your bum. This says yawaraka, so that will be weakly. It will shoot out the spray from the bidet, and that says actually bidet, and that's just to kind of, I'd say, or bring out like hot air to kind of dry yourself, and these kind of buttons are like how strong you want it and things like that. It's a lot of settings. Another cool thing as well, when you flush, so when you flush there, the water comes out of the top. So typically you'd want to wash your hands with this because there's a clean water before it kind of gets into the actual toilet bowl. So pretty cool. I could do a whole video on just Japanese toilets. There's a lot more info I can give you, but this is just a short tour anyway, but I could definitely give you some more info. So coming into here, this is a second flat. This is meant to be a living area for entire family. This is where we would come for like summer holidays and stuff. So you got your fridge, you got your like stove area for cooking. My brother and I, we used to play the piano back in the day. Now it doesn't get used, unfortunately. We'll come through the rest of the house. So this is the living room. Obviously for us, because we don't like to sit on the floor, well, too much because it just hurts our knees. So we have the sofa area, watch some TV. We've got the balcony area up here. This is where you could put all the dry your clothes and things like that. So it's really set up so that you could live in this area. The only thing that is missing is like a shower for us. But other than that, it's set up completely so you can live in here. We'll just go into the bedroom. So this is actually a good way to show you what to expect with the bedding. So this is what I mean when we say we don't have beds. So just in here, this is where we will have like all the bedding and stuff like that, if you can see. So this is where we get it out with. And these are just 2 beds that I made for me and my partner when we came here to stay. But you can sleep a lot of people in here, probably about, I don't know, 5 or 6. I mean, we used to do it when we had friends around and stuff like that. So yeah, that's there you have it. That's all the bedrooms. This is the top floor and things like that. This is what to expect in like a Japanese household. That's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. I just wanted that was a quick overview of like, you know, what to expect in living in a Japanese household. Obviously, like each household is different. In Japan, you get some really old houses, and this is a good example because it's an old house. This house is about 80 years old. We've lived in this same patch for many generations, but this is a newly built house as such. But Japanese households, there's a lot of old ones, and you tend to incorporate the modern places. So a lot of things that we've modernized and added in as the years have gone by. So yeah, I hope it gave you a good example of like what it's like to live in these kind of traditional Japanese houses, and just what it's like day to day, by all means. So hope you liked the video. I'm making more videos like this. Obviously, me being half Japanese, I'll be able to speak and describe and explain everything that I go through in my life to give you a real idea as to what it's like kind of living in Japan. So hopefully see you in the next one. Use one of these. これなんだっけ?
座布団。
座布団。
ディズニーキャラクターだよ。
あれ? Oh. And to celebrate, so that would be called mune age. Mune age? Mune? Huh? I got that wrong.
Take 5.
There's a round and strong. Fuck! 水に壊れないよそれ